It has been leaked, Bills Mafia. The 2025 Buffalo Bills schedule has been released. And on today's Bills Breakdown episode by Chat Sports, we're going to go through each game on the 2025 schedule and highlight a few key marquee matchups as well. Let's start with weeks 1 through 4, opening up with a hell of a primetime matchup. Sunday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens at home. That is must-watch TV against Lamar Jackson and company. Then we go to our first divisional game against the Jets on the road, followed by another primetime matchup on Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. Then we host the Saints in Week 4, followed by Week 5, the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football, again, this time at home, and then another primetime matchup against the Falcons. So that's 4 primetime matchups in the first 6 weeks. What does that tell you about the NFL loving what the Buffalo Bills do on the football field? Then we get our first bye, or not our first bye, our bye in Week 7. Kind of an early bye for my taste, but I'm okay with it. And then we travel to see Bryce Young and company over in Carolina in Week 8. Then it starts to get a little bit tougher. You got the Chiefs at home, Week 9. Then the Dolphins, another divisional game, but this time in Miami, followed by the Buccaneers in Week 11. The Texans on Thursday Night Football in Week 12. That's on the road. And then at Pittsburgh in Week 13. This is the toughest part of the entire schedule. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. This is how we end the 2025 season as well. Versus the Bengals at home, followed by at the Patriots, at Cleveland. Really tough Thursday Night Football matchup against the Eagles. And then we finish it off with the Jets. So before we break down each game individually, I want you to sound off for me. Predict the Bills' 2025 record. I'm going to say 12-5 straight off the bat, but that's my way too early prediction. That is subject to change, obviously, as we go through OTAs, and we'll maybe end up making another schedule prediction video tomorrow. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, so stay tuned for that. All right, one by one individually. Let's do it. First game. Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Lamar Jackson head-to-head against Josh Allen. We just saw them face off in the playoffs. Josh and company knocked him off after that Mark Andrews drop in the end zone. Truthfully, Buffalo, I thought, was better that entire game, but you could potentially blame it on Mark Andrews dropping that ball in the end zone, although I'm not going to say that that's what happened. But this is a hell of an opening matchup. Week 1, you're going to be glued to your televisions. I can guarantee you that. Then Week 2 at the Jets, a brand new regime there with Aaron Glenn and now Justin Fields at the helm at quarterback. The Jets should be better than they were last year, although they're not going to be good. They're probably going to finish at the bottom of our division anyway. Excuse me. Week 3 versus the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Pardon me. Again, primetime divisional matchups, you never really know what you're going to get, although I think Miami takes a step back this year. I think offensively, if Tua stays healthy, they'll be fine. Defensively, kind of a bit of a question mark there. So, again, you never really know. Followed by Week 4 at the Saints. Sorry to my producer on the ones and twos, Mr. Trace Gerard, who is the host of Saints Now by Chat Sports. I think Buffalo wins this one outright. Week 5 versus the Pats on Sunday Night Football. Again, all these primetime matchups kind of indicate that the NFL is quite in love with what Buffalo has on the field and probably has them as a Super Bowl contender way too early on. I know I do. I actually have them right now head-to-head with the Washington Commanders for my way too early Super Bowl prediction. Let's go to Week 6. Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football. Michael Penix, who knows if he's going to be the answer there in Atlanta, but you got to give him a shot. And then we have our bye week in Week 7. Again, kind of early for my taste, but I kind of look at this and I say, I'll take an early bye if we have a couple of injuries earlier on. We can get healthy. So Week 7 bye followed by Week 8 at Carolina. This should be a no-doubter, a W for sure. Now, again, Bryce Young getting better as the season went on last year. They did draft Ted McMillan, so they got a couple of big-bodied receivers with Xavier Legette and now Teteroa McMillan, also with Adam Thielen there. So they're starting to put together some pieces to see if Bryce Young can actually play. This is where it starts to get really difficult. The Kansas City Chiefs, Week 9. Again, I don't know what it is about Kansas City. They always seem to have our number in the playoffs, but I know for a fact this year we've got them, especially at home. These are two of the biggest heavyweights in the entirety of the NFL going head-to-head against each other. Can't wait to turn on my television for that one. Week 10 at the Dolphins. It's nice to know that as the season goes on, we're going back into more warmer climates here. So this should actually be advantageous for Buffalo, heading down to a much warmer Miami, especially around Thanksgiving. Week 11, the Buccaneers, again, staying in your back-to-back weeks in Florida, which is awesome, especially, not playing in the cold weather. Guys are a little bit more loose, a little bit more limber. So everything is about those two games should be advantageous, like I said, for Buffalo. Week 12 at the Texans, Thursday night football again. These are some tough games, I'm not going to lie to you. But if last year was any indicator, Houston knocked the clock off the Bills last year. It was one of Josh Allen's worst games last season at quarterback was against the Texans. So I think he bounces back. Then week 13 at the Steelers. Now, like I said, these 5 games are going to be your toughest. If you can go 3-2 or 4-1 in this, you're looking pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a very, very tough stretch of games right there. Week 14 doesn't get, too much easier here, but the Bengals have a really bad defense, so I like Josh Allen to pick them apart in this game. Followed by the Patriots, again, divisional game in New England this time. And then week 16 in Cleveland, who's going to know who's going to start there for the Browns? Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Is it going to be Joe Flacco? Or maybe even Dylan Gabriel? Followed by perhaps what could be one of the toughest last games in Buffalo's schedule. Probably the toughest, actually, if I'm being quite honest with you, against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, luckily, this is in Buffalo, right? This is in Orchard Park, so hopefully, this game has a couple of weather elements to it where the Buffalo players are more primed and ready to go, and Philadelphia comes in and they're forced to give the ball to Saquon Barkley, and our defense can adjust accordingly. Followed by the wrapping up of the entirety of the schedule against the Jets at home. Also should be a winnable game. Now, which of these Bills games are you most excited about? Let me know down in the comments section. I'm not going to lie to you. First week, I think that's my favorite. Ravens on Sunday Night Football. It doesn't get much better than that. You know damn well that is going to pull a massive rating wherever it's being broadcasted on. But I'm really excited for week 1. Another one that I could probably take a look at is that Thursday night game in week 12 against the Texans. That'll be another must-watcher. Same with week 9 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, remember to subscribe to the channel. All Bills Mafia, make sure you get down in the comment section below and let us know what you're most excited for in 2025. And, of course, predict the record also. My name is Moose. Until tomorrow, be cool.